welcome you as Chairman of the Dover Society and also Chairman of the Dover Town Hall Refurbishment Steering Group. Thank you very much for coming. You'll be pleased to know that there's only one speech. The bad news is you've got to put up with me. But, so the main question I imagine in your minds is, why are we here? So first clue I'm going to give you is a short history lesson. This is a Grade 2 listed building with 800 years of both Dover's and national history contained within its walls. Many monarchs from Henry III down to our present Queen have been in this building. And the Maison Dieu, House of God, was founded in 1203 as a free bed and breakfast for pilgrims en route or on the way home from Thomas à Becket's shrine at Canterbury. That's where he was murdered in the cathedral in 1170. So Dover is quite used to people from all over Europe being in the town, and they would have been in here. And it also doubled as a retirement home for friends of royalty, as well as a local infirmary, because back in the 1200s, no National Health Service and religious houses provided what sort of health care there was for the local people. And then following Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries, this building became a victualling depot for the Navy until the 19th century, when in a much dilapidated state, Stone Hall for instance had lost its roof, it was bought by Dover Corporation for use as a town hall. This particular building is the oldest remaining part of the old Maison Dieu. It was consecrated as a chapel in 1227, but once the Dover Corporation bought it, it was converted into the local magistrates' court and served as a court until about 1987, when the new court opened in Pencester Road. A council chamber was added onto the buildings, and the main hall underwent major restoration, giving us the magnificent stone hall with its fine Victorian stained glass windows that we see today. By 1880, a prison that had been built in the 1860s for the town was obsolete and had closed, and in its place rose a magnificent assembly hall with a highly decorated ceiling, which was opened in 1883 by the Duke of Connaught, and naturally called the Connaught Hall. And the impressive Mayor's Parlour with other subsidiary rooms were built at the same time. And then following local government reorganisation, you all know this bit, the town council ceased to meet here, and in the 1980s the court became redundant, as I've said. And with ownership transferred to the new district council, the building remained available for community events. Income was needed to help offset the high cost of maintenance, and a commercial operator was appointed to increase revenue. And today it's popular as a wedding venue, as well as its more traditional uses for concerts, dinners, dances and public meetings. So why did the Dover Society take such an interest in the building a year or two back? And two quotes by many of our recent tour visitors may give you a clue, and I quote. So these are not just one-offs. Quite a few people have said, "I've lived in Dover all my life, but I've never been in this building before." And others, "I've been in the big hall to see pantomimes, but never realised there was all this." So there's a low level of public awareness of this ancient building and its history, which deserves to be promoted as a heritage asset. And then secondly, whilst the structure of the building has been kept in a good state of repair, much of the fine Victorian internal decoration, worked by William Burgess, is in dire need of restoration. So what could be done? In 2010, the Dover Society took two bold steps. It established its own fund to support a possible restoration project in the longer term, and arranged for the town hall to be opened as part of the Society's annual Heritage Open Days in September. And then accepting that any project must involve the owner of the building, Dover District Council, the commercial operator, Thanet Leisure Force, and Dover Town Council with its historic connections with the building. Soundings were taken in September last year. A meeting was held with representatives of those organisations, plus a user representative. And we established a working group, and we called it the Town Hall Refurbishment Steering Group. So we had grand ideas right from the start, but just with the aim of exploring the feasibility of a restoration project, including a major bid to the Heritage Lottery Fund. And more recently, English Heritage has joined the group as a resource. But we soon appreciated the gigantic task that we had in front of us when we researched the requirements for a successful Heritage Lottery Fund bid. These days, merely having an historic building in need of attention is not enough to secure funding. A sustainable use, much used these days, this word, sustainable use is also required. You can't just have a pretty restored building as a shell and nothing happening in it. So we have to demonstrate sustainable use as well as learning opportunities and community involvement in the project. However, we were much encouraged by the enthusiasm shown during a site visit by a representative from the Heritage Lottery Fund. Before seeking approval and support for a major project locally, we decided that more needed to be done to demonstrate public interest. So a trial from this August to March next year was agreed to increase the once-a-month guided tours to every Wednesday morning, and to supplement them by providing an interpretation room sited in the oldest surviving part of the building. This very room, consecrated as a chapel in 1227 in the presence of King Henry III. And we were very fortunate that Christine Waterman, an authority on the history of the Maison Dieu, offered her services as a resource as soon as she retired from Dover District Council earlier this year. And Christine has kindly drafted all the material we see today, which was designed by Claire Linbury of Dover District Council, who I hope is still here, yes. Christine, unfortunately, is in Italy this week, so she couldn't be with us. So thank you both so much. I was panicking over the weekend because nothing had been erected. Claire assured me it will be all right on the day, and it is. So thank you very much. So this new facility, to be known as the History Room, will be available all day, every Wednesday, enabling the public to appreciate the building even when guided tours are not available in the afternoon. I am recruiting more tour guides, and I'm hoping that perhaps we can offer guided tours not only in the morning but possibly in the afternoons as well. Before the 31st of March next year, when this particular project ends, we hope to be in a position to approach Dover District Council as the owner of the building formally to approve the preparation of a grant application to Heritage Lottery Fund for a restoration project. No doubt we should have to prioritise over what we want to do. There's so much we could do in this building, but we would like to see it restored to its sort of 1883 magnificence. So before closing, I must thank Dover District Council, Dover Town Council and Thanet Leisure Force for making this new facility financially possible, and Thanet Leisure Force for providing refreshments today. The steering group, of course, is also very grateful to our volunteer guides for their essential support. So, in closing, please look around this room at your leisure. There's some information here which is in the form of photographs at the moment, but it will be accompanied by text to explain the photographs. And we are also preparing handouts on some aspects of the building for those people who perhaps want more information about, for instance, the stained glass windows. Some of the finest Victorian stained glass windows in the country that are not in the church. So look around, hope you're impressed, please spread the word. The best publicity is by word of mouth. Thank you.